Let me ask you something honestly. Have you ever had a moment when talking to a machine felt easier than talking to a person? That might sound strange at first, but it really isn't anymore. Some people open a chat at 2 in the morning because they can't sleep. Some ask for relationship advice. Some just need something, or someone, to help them get through a heavy day. And what makes this even more surprising is that this is no longer rare. For a lot of people, it's already part of everyday life. In one major psychology survey in the U.S., nearly 8 out of 10 psychologists said their clients had talked about using AI in some emotional way. To ask what might be wrong with them, to feel understood, to vent, to get comfort, sometimes even to lean on it like it was another therapist. In that same survey, more than a third of psychologists said some clients were treating AI almost like an extra mental health professional. And a lot of clients were even using it to try to figure themselves out, almost like a form of self-diagnosis. So this isn't some far-off future. This is already here, and if we're being honest, some of you watching right now may already know exactly what that feels like. Which leads to a question that matters more than most people realize. When we open up to AI, does it make us less lonely? Or does it make us even lonelier? And that's such a hard question because the answer isn't clean. It doesn't go in just one direction. For some people, it really does help. When there's no one available in the moment, having something that responds right away can feel like relief. It doesn't interrupt you. It doesn't judge you. It doesn't get tired. It doesn't make you feel like you're too much. And here's the thing, human beings often calm down. Not because someone solved the problem, but because someone stayed and listened. Even if that listener is a screen. Honestly, I get why this happens. Talking to a real person can feel hard. You might worry about sounding dramatic. You might worry about burdening someone. You might even wonder if what you're feeling is too small to bring up at all. So you stay quiet, and then this tool is right there. No scheduling, no awkwardness, no fear that your message will be ignored for hours. No need to manage someone else's mood, while you're already struggling with your own. Of course people reach for that. In a way, it makes perfect sense. Some studies even suggest that in certain situations, and in moderate amounts, conversations like this can ease loneliness for a while. And many psychologists agree that AI can sometimes work as a support tool. Not a replacement for care, but a tool. It can help you put your feelings into words. It can help you organize your thoughts before therapy. It can help you journal when your mind feels messy. And that part matters, because we shouldn't pretend it's all bad. But here's where it gets important. Something can feel helpful and still not be safe. Those are not the same thing. A lot of us confuse relief with healing. If something makes us feel better for a few minutes, we assume it's helping us get better overall. But those are two very different things. Some responses feel incredibly warm in the moment. They calm you down. They make you feel seen. They take the edge off. But if those responses keep you from facing reality, or quietly encourage you to stay stuck in the same patterns, then that isn't healing. That may just be emotional pain relief. Temporary relief. A soft kind of numbness. And another recent psychology survey raised exactly that concern. Many psychologists said AI can sometimes reinforce distorted thinking, instead of gently challenging it. Almost all of them worried that AI might unintentionally strengthen unhealthy beliefs or behaviors. A large number were also concerned about what happens when someone in serious emotional distress turns to something that sounds caring, but doesn't truly understand risk, nuance, or consequences. And many psychologists said they had seen people become emotionally dependent on these systems. Why does that happen? The answer is simpler than it looks. AI is not comforting you because it loves you. It's responding because that's what it was designed to do. It is very good at keeping the conversation going. Very good at sounding calm. Very good at sounding supportive. Very good at giving you more of what feels emotionally easy to receive. And that's exactly where the danger can start. In a real relationship, another person might not fully agree with you. They might gently point out something you're missing. They might notice when your thinking is spiraling. They might say something uncomfortable, but necessary. AI often doesn't do that well. And sometimes it's not even built to. A lot of these systems are designed to keep users engaged. To keep you talking. To keep you coming back. So for some people, AI starts to feel like the safest relationship they've ever had. Always available, always patient, always validating, always ready. But that kind of perfection can be a problem. Because real relationships are not frictionless. They're messy. They require timing. Misunderstandings happen. Feelings get hurt. You have to explain yourself. You have to wait. Sometimes you get disappointed. Sometimes you have to repair. But that messy process is how we build the emotional muscles of being human. It's how we learn to express ourselves. How we learn to tolerate discomfort. How we learn to read other people. How we learn to stay connected even when things aren't smooth. If AI becomes too emotionally satisfying, too easy, too perfectly responsive, then real people can start to feel exhausting by comparison. And that changes something deep. Especially when loneliness is already there. Because loneliness isn't just being alone. It's more like feeling that no one truly gets you. And when you're in that kind of pain, instant emotional response feels powerful. It feels like rescue. But if that comfort slowly starts replacing human connection, then something strange can happen. At first, it seems like it's reducing your pain. But later, it may also reduce your ability to reach for actual people. That's the paradox. The thing you turned to, because you felt alone, may slowly make real connection harder. And for younger people, this gets even more complicated. A lot of teens and young adults are already growing up in a world where screens mediate almost everything. Conversation, validation, advice, identity, belonging, even emotional support. Some reports show that a noticeable number of younger users experience AI as more than a tool, more like a friend, sometimes even like a romantic presence. And that worries a lot of experts. Because if your sense of connection is still developing, and you spend too much time with something that is endlessly agreeable and perfectly responsive, real relationships may start to feel slower, riskier, and much less rewarding. Think about it. Human connection is incredibly inefficient. A text can sit unanswered for hours. Someone you love may completely misunderstand what you meant. You can be close to a person and still feel unseen for a moment. But an AI chat is fast, clean, personalized, always ready to focus on you. So over time, humans can start to feel difficult while the machine feels easy. And once that shift happens, your standards for connection begin to change. Now I want to be careful here. Talking to AI does not automatically mean something is wrong. It doesn't mean everyone who uses it is headed somewhere unhealthy. For some people, it can be a first step toward putting feelings into language. For others, it may be what finally helps them admit they need support. Even many professionals acknowledge that these tools may have value in certain situations. The real question is this: do you see it as a bridge to human care? Or do you start treating it like a substitute for human care? That difference matters a lot. Personally, I think there's one question that can tell you almost everything you need to know. After talking to it, do you feel more able to reach out to people? Or less? That question is simple, but it's powerful. If the conversation helps you calm down, organize your thoughts, book the therapy appointment, text a friend, or take better care of yourself, then maybe it served a healthy purpose. But if the more you use it, the more real people feel annoying, disappointing, or unnecessary, then something else may be happening. It may feel like comfort, but it could also be deepening isolation. And there's another piece we can't ignore. AI can sound incredibly convincing. It can sound wise. It can sound warm. It can sound emotionally intelligent. But it has never lived a human life. It has never had your childhood, your family, your heartbreak, your body, your silence, your history. It does not know why one sentence from you on one day means frustration, and on another day means you're barely holding it together. It does not see your face when you go quiet. It does not notice the pause before a confession. It does not feel the weight of what it's saying to you. And especially when it comes to mental health, context is everything. A few polished sentences are not enough. A calm tone is not enough. Some pain hides behind a smile. Some anxiety looks high functioning. Some sadness has been there so long it feels like personality. Those things are not easy to read. And they are definitely not something a polished reply can fully hold. The truth is, I don't think what we want most is always advice. I think sometimes what we really want is a witness. Someone who knows we're having a hard night. Someone who helps us feel that what we're going through is real. Someone who doesn't rush to fix us, but also doesn't let our pain disappear into the void. And this is where I keep coming back to what only people can offer. Human beings are slow, imperfect, awkward sometimes. We miss things. We say the wrong thing. We don't always know what to do. But precisely because we're real, we can feel responsibility for each other. We know our words can wound. We know silence can be a cry for help. We know there are moments when listening is not enough. And someone needs to show up, stay present, and help carry the weight. AI can respond, but it cannot be responsible for you. It can continue a conversation, but it cannot truly live through life with you. Human relationships are messy not just because people are flawed, but because they are real. They can hurt us. They can misunderstand us. They can leave, but they can also stay. And that is why real care is often less polished, but far deeper. I also think this is bigger than technology. This says something about us. About what kind of creatures we are. For all our intelligence, all our tools, all our progress, we still ache for the same old thing. Not just answers, presence, not just soothing words, a real bond, something alive on the other side of our pain. And maybe that's the more human, more philosophical truth buried in all of this. Convenience is not the same as connection. Perfect responses are not the same as understanding. And instant comfort is not the same as being deeply known. The people who truly change us are rarely the ones with the smoothest words. They're the ones who remain. The ones who ask again how you're doing. The ones who notice something is off. The ones who say, you don't have to go through this alone. The ones who are willing to enter the mess with us. I think AI is going to become even more common. And yes, for many people, it will probably be useful in certain ways. That part is real, and we shouldn't deny it. But what we can't afford to forget is this. Feeling comfortable with something does not mean you are in a relationship with it. Feeling understood in a moment does not always mean you are truly being cared for. Sometimes the thing that saves us is not the most efficient response. Sometimes it's the very human one. A friend who asks if you're okay. Someone who sits with you without needing to sound wise. Someone who offers to help you make the call. Someone who checks in the next day. Human beings have always carried each other this way. So here's the simplest version of the whole message. You can talk to AI. But you can't let AI be the only thing you talk to. Used carefully, it may help you name your feelings. It may help you sort out your thoughts. It may even help you get through a difficult night. But the moment it becomes your only source of comfort, you may start losing the one thing you need most. The path back to other people. The path of asking for help. The path of risking real connection, even though it's imperfect. And if you've been carrying too much by yourself lately, maybe try one small thing today. Not a perfect confession. Not some huge emotional speech. Just one honest sentence to one real person. Something like, hey, I've been having a hard time lately. Do you have a minute? That's enough. And if you're in a place where things feel seriously unsafe, inside your own mind, please don't try to carry that alone. Reach out to a trusted person, a licensed professional, or an immediate support resource near you. That is not weakness. That is wisdom. So maybe this is the real question. Is the thing that responds to you most smoothly actually the thing that cares for you most deeply? Or is real care something slower, less perfect, and far more human? I think the answer matters. Because in the end, we don't just need replies. We need relationships. And no matter how smart our tools become, they still can't replace the warmth of one human being truly showing up for another.